Investigators in Kansas City are piecing together what happened yesterday following the city's Super Bowl celebrations and the deadly mass shooting afterward. These are just some of the terrifying moments after shots rang out. Thousands of fans fleeing, panicking, trying to get to safe places. There were more than 1 million people in and around Union Station yesterday. One woman died in the shooting. More than 20 others were injured, including at least 11 children. CNN reporter Mike Valerio is in Kansas City and is live with us this morning. Mike, good to have you on our program today. We'll talk about the victims in just a moment. I'm interested, first of all, what are police saying now about the investigation? What do they know about what happened and who was responsible?
Well, Heather, good morning. As the sun comes up here in Kansas City, they haven't said a whole lot about what exactly the motive is or why the gunman or gunmen would open fire here on what was supposed to be a perfect day. But we do have new clues that are emerging from an interview done within the past hour on CBS Mornings out of New York, when a survivor of this shooting said that right before one person opened fire, he heard an altercation where somebody nearby, a couple meters away from him, said, "Don't do it, not here. This is stupid," taking a direct quotation from that interview that just happened. And then somebody pulled out a gun and started firing in a circle. I mean, if you can only imagine what that must have been like for this survivor, who also told CBS Mornings that he was shot. I mean, it's unbelievable. So to show you what we have, what has remained of this scene a couple meters away from us, you can see just all the debris that's strewn about. We'll push in and you can see a black stage that's right in front of Union Station. That's where all the Kansas City Chief players were assembled about until 2 p.m. local time, when the man, or at least one person, started firing. It's just remarkable to look at this tableau, at the, how it tells you of a scene of interrupted lives in this interrupted moment, that people will never be the same. A whole host of families were here celebrating back-to-back championships from American football, and just the worst possible way to end something like this. So that's as far as the investigation stands. We are checking in with local police to see if any news conferences were scheduled for today. None as of yet, but that crucial question of motive and who exactly is responsible is still technically unanswered as of this morning.
And Mike, I mentioned, we discussed the victims. One person dead, more than 20 injured, and I mentioned close to a dozen of them are children. What information do you have about those victims today?
So the person who is dead, her name is Lisa Lopez Galvin. She was a beloved local DJ at radio station 90.1 FM here in Kansas City. She's also been described to us as a treasured voice of the Latino community here. She was a bilingual translator for many years. We also found out, Heather, new this morning, that she was with 2 of her nieces, 1 nephew at this parade, at this rally and celebration. The 3 of her relatives were also hit by gunfire. So it just goes to show you the family traumas that are extending from at least one person who decided to open fire. And in terms of the rest of the people who are still being cared for in emergency rooms across the area, we know that 11 children at Mercy Children's Hospital, about just under 2.5 kilometers away from where we're standing, being cared for gunshot wounds. And those children are, Heather, between the ages of 6 and 15 years old. So we're talking about first grade, primary school, and just learning how to drive. Being hit with such trauma, it's absolutely horrifying to think about if you're a parent or if you're a survivor of this. But this is just another ritual of American life that the state of Missouri and neighboring Kansas are going through right now, Heather.
Really appreciate that live reporting. Thank you. That's CNN reporter Mike Valerio with us from Kansas City.